In 2017, a 6-year-old boy named Tanatalawa Adewumi stepped off a plane with his family into the bustling heart of New York City. They were not tourists. They were refugees, fleeing the brutal violence of Boko Haram in northern Nigeria. The Adewumis had left everything behind: home, belongings, comfort, in search of safety. But what they found in America was not immediate salvation. It was a tiny room in a homeless shelter. It was hunger. It was bullying. It was hard, back-breaking jobs for his parents just to afford food, all while trying to protect their sons from a world that didn't seem to welcome them. Tani didn't speak much English. His clothes were old. He was teased at school. And yet, in the middle of all that chaos, something extraordinary happened. At his new public school, PS 116, Tani discovered something that would change his life: a chessboard. It wasn't love at first sight. It was something deeper. Chess made sense. In a life full of unpredictability and pain, chess gave him order, strategy, hope. But there was a problem. Chess costs money. Tournaments, lessons, gear, all of it adds up. And when your family is sleeping in a shelter and skipping meals, $340 for a tournament is not just expensive, it's impossible. That's when his coach, Russell Makovsky, saw something special. He waived the tournament fees. He gave Tani his first chess set, a plastic one with scuffed edges and missing paint. Tani didn't care. He practiced on the shelter floor for hours every night, using library books to study openings, repeating tactics in his head while his family slept inches away. He didn't have a private coach. He didn't have quiet. He didn't have comfort. But he had focus and hunger, not the kind from an empty stomach, though he knew that too, but the kind that fuels legends. In March 2019, just 2 years after first touching a chess piece, Tani walked into the New York State Scholastic Chess Championships. All around him were kids with advantages, paid lessons, custom boards, years of practice. But Tani didn't blink. Round after round, he won. Quietly, methodically, brilliantly. And when the dust settled, the boy from the homeless shelter was the undefeated state champion in his age group. The world took notice. The New York Times ran a front-page story. Donations poured in. A GoFundMe raised over $250,000. The Adewumis moved into a real apartment. Tani went on national television. He shook hands with presidents and met world-famous chess grandmasters. Ellen DeGeneres hugged him on live TV. But even then, he didn't change. Tani said, "Chess is not just a game. It saved me." And he meant it. Because after becoming a symbol of hope, Tani did something few children would ever think of. He gave back. He and his family used the donations to start a foundation to support other refugee and homeless children. He began speaking at schools and community centers. He reminded people that miracles aren't random. They're made from discipline, belief, and heart. Now 12 years old, Tani is still chasing his dream of becoming the youngest grandmaster in history. He studies relentlessly. He competes nationally and internationally. But his mission is bigger than a title. He wants to show the world that brilliance doesn't come from wealth or privilege, that you can start with nothing, literally nothing, and still rise. Tani Adewumi's games are brilliant, but his story? That's what people study most. Because in every pawn he pushes, every knight he leaps, every quiet move he makes, there's a message. You are not where you came from. You are what you choose to become. And if a 6-year-old refugee with nothing but courage can climb to the top of the chess world, then so can you. If stories like this move you, imagine what else the chessboard has to reveal. From legendary upsets to hidden heroes, we bring the soul of chess to life. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, not just for checkmates, but for inspiration, brilliance, and the game behind the game. Subscribe now and become part of a community where every pawn has a story.